Welcome to What the Fuck Did I Dream Last Night? I am your host, Jaynee. Y'all, I got an episode for you guys this week. This week has been wild, like in dreamland and in real life. But I hope you all had a great Halloween. I'm ready to switch gears into Christmas mode in this household. I am sure that upsets some of you guys and excites some of you as well. I feel like you either fall one way or the other on that spectrum. Like, you're nowhere in between, but decorating my house. And I'm listening to Christmas music this week, and because it puts me in a good mood. So do whatever the hell makes you happy. But with life being crazy and stressful and everything else, it's no wonder that I'm having like these insane, stressful dreams. They've just been a lot. They've been a lot to handle. I'm sorry, people that are watching on Patreon, about the reflection, but I wear these blue light glasses now, and it's just going to be a thing because it helps my head not hurt after I'm staring at the computer forever. I'm drinking some wine today. My kids have been crazy. I blame the Halloween and the candy and everything else, and it's just the holidays. I just feel like that's what life is, and it's okay to be stressed out. And man, it's all right if your dreams are crazy and make you feel away. And that's a big thing that I try to advocate on this podcast, to especially with like mental health. I feel like they tie into your dreams a lot, or it does tie into your dreams a lot. It's hard. It's just hard sometimes. And then especially, I've talked about when you have these bad dreams, and I want to always talk about like the shitty dreams and the hard dreams on this podcast. I find it important to express them, let it go, and to let you all know that like it's normal and okay to have effed up dreams. Getting them off your chest helps a lot more. So let's talk about these dreams. Okay, so there is a trigger warning this week. I'm going to talk about an active shooter in my dreams. But let's just go into the first one here and talk about there's an active shooter in this dream. So just letting you guys know. Also a little forewarning, like I don't like see anyone get shot. I don't get shot or anything like that. So just want to let you guys know, to give you a heads up, because I don't want to trigger anybody. So in this dream, I'm heading to my current job that I have now. And I'm driving a different way there, though. Like, normally I get off the turnpike, but I'm like driving on the highway that leads to my job. And I get off, or like I go to like under the bridge, and there is this like the road's closed. Like, they just blocked the road, and I'm like, so either you have to get like onto the turnpike, or like I guess you could make a left, because some people were trying to do that, and I originally was going to try to do that to make a U-turn and try to figure out like how to get to work, but like there was no way for me to like bypass that without taking like crazy back roads. So it was going to take me like forever to get to work. So like I'm sitting in the far left lane. I'm like, well, shit, if I have to go on the turnpike, like I need to get over in the right lane. Like, what am I going to do? So next thing you know, this girl on this motorcycle like zooms up in front of me and parks, like stops in front of me. And then she puts like her legs down, and then these two big fancy like old school cars, like old cars, like big bulky, they were really, really nice old cars, like very well taken care of. One was like a baby blue and one was like a baby pink. The baby pink one was first and the baby blue one followed, and there were two men driving those vehicles. And I'm sitting in my car, and I thought they were like gonna hit me, the way like I was like, there's no way they're gonna fit, like they're, you know how like older cars like bulky. And I'm trying to think, let me Google real quick, what is like an old Cadillac? Can I find that? Yes. So it was like an old school Cadillac. Oh, here, I'll do it on my phone real quick so I can show you guys on this video here. Old Cadillac. Oh my god, like it was like this, like these like awesome. I'll post these on Patreon, or I'll post these on Instagram. I think I still have to post them about last week. I think I forgot. So it's like two cars like this. One was baby pink and one was baby blue. I guess powder pink. I don't think baby pink is a color, but okay. So, and I was like, they're totally gonna hit me, but like they didn't somehow. Like they just like kind of just went right like by me, and I was like, okay, and like they like you know when someone like driving fast like goes to cut you off. That's kind of what they did here. So the girl's like sitting in front, and then she pulls out a gun and like to the left shoots like 3 shots, and then each of the guys shot like 1 or 2 behind her, and I was like, what the fuck? And somehow it's like I was in my vehicle that was completely like closed up, like my windows are up and everything. But she turned around and told me, "You better go get out of here fast because a lot of people are about to come here." And I was like, "Okay." And now I didn't actually like I heard her voice, but it's not like my windows are down and I spoke to her, like she came up and spoke to me, but like she turned around and it's like I heard her say this to me. So somehow I like beelined it like to the right and to try to get onto the turnpike to escape. And I go up this bridge and like all of a sudden there's like people shooting like everywhere. Like it was just like a battle. And I kind of um like switch gears, switch scenes here because I ended up being inside this classroom. And outside the classroom, you know, like the old like windows in schools. I don't even know if they still have them, but like they were square and they could like you roll them out and they just like open up like there's like a little like 5 inches or something, so like no one can like get out, but you can just like let a little bit of air in. So it was like that coming in, or like the window. We had them open like that, and I was like, guys, like, there's a shooting going on. And they're like, well, how are they shooting from under the bridge? Because like somehow under by the school there was this bridge, and there were bricks. And they're like, Jaynee, they're just shooting in the bricks. Like this is all like not true. Like no one's like taking this serious at first. So I'm like, we need to do something. Like, and some guy like once again, it's like I like telepathically he turned around and talked to me. And he's like, no, like we're putting like holes in through the bricks with this tool, and that's what they're shooting through. So they are actually shooting people. And I'm like, we should be a little more worried about what is going on. But we were like hiding in this like closet, and it was dark, and the teacher just wanted us all to pick a book to read. And they were all children's books that we were reading. Like we were definitely in like high schoolish in this dream. Like I was definitely older, but the books that we had to pick were like books that I read to like my 2-year old. So these shootings are still happening outside, and everyone's kind of like calm, but at the same time, like every once in a while, people are like, "We should be worried about this, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we should." And you can't leave. Like no one's like stopping this. Like I don't see any cops. I don't see anybody like trying to like stop any of this. Like it just keeps going on. Like no one cares that it's happening. And like these cars are all driving past and everything. So, next thing you know, like I'm standing outside the school and it's dark. And the girl that was on the motorcycle, like comes up to us and I'm like, what? Like that's what I'm thinking in my head. And I don't say anything, but I'm standing in a group of people. Um, and she like throws like some kind of liquid on us, and I thought it was like like they were I thought it was like gasoline that they were throwing on us, and because they like started like burning stuff as well. And she's like, well, everyone's gonna die today or tomorrow, so you might as well just like let me blow this all up and you guys might as well stay here. But I was like, no, and I sprinted down like the sidewalk to the school, and I go into this little like I thought it was a room to go into, but it was like basically just a shower room, and I found a shower to like rinse off the gasoline and like got myself like all wet. So, and a bunch of other people found that too, and they were like, well, that wasn't gasoline. Like, what are they going to do to us? Like, it was like full on the purge was happening. Like, but we didn't know that it was happening, but these other people knew. Because then next thing you know, they have these, like axes, and they're coming up, and they like, the girl looks at the guy and goes, are you ready? And they like hit something, and it was like a brick or something, like kind of to scare us or something back in. Like it just kept doing like these little things to us, like torturing us. And I was like, but we aren't like doing anything. I don't know why you're torturing us. And that's why like the best way I could describe it is like the purge, because like it was just like a fucking free for all. um, so then like we're back in the classroom and there's like a dining room table in front of it too. We're in the classroom now. And I was like, okay, so we're all dripping wet. So we like rinsed off that stuff. We survived like getting on fire. So next, like these kids and these people just start like throwing up. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, they're like, this must be the next thing they did to us. Like, we're just going to all throw up. And I didn't throw up in the dream, but like everybody else did. I go, I must have rinsed that stuff off good enough. And then like literally that ended the dream. It was, I woke up from that like so uncomfortable, so uneasy. And I think like I decided this week I'm not gonna like research this dream because I always say like you're the best one that can identify your dreams or decipher your dreams. So I decided just to go from what I think. One, shit that I watch and shit that I listen to. I know I sound like a repeated broken record. But for sure that's why I think that it's shootings. I think that it happens more and more nowadays. So it's scary. I would lie if I would say that I don't have a fear of that, like going to a public place and stuff. I also think about it more like being a mom of two. Uh, it's nerve wracking. Like the world is nerve wracking right now. I think it always has been, but social media I think is like made it more apparent to everything that's happening. Or not more, maybe not more apparent, but like you have more access to like the news and like everything triggering things and like memes even just like can just spark anxiety in it. So I think 100% this is just an anxiety dream about me being afraid. I think too, like my kids aren't in school, but like it's just a scary time sending your kids to school. I've also been watching 13 Reasons Why. But the weirdest thing is a spoiler alert if you guys haven't finished that season or finished that series. The night before I had this dream, I went and like finished watching it and they had the like active shooter drills that were going on, like that they were doing. The next day I was like, okay, well that's weird. Like why did I have this like crazy dream like an active shooter in school and then I was gonna watch that the next day? I I just think that's a weird coincidence, maybe not. Maybe it was like a warning that like, hey, your anxiety's bad. Let's just keep on keep it on. Like keep on going with it. Also I feel like that's one of those like if you think it's gonna happen, so like oh, I had a dream about it and I was like thinking about it a lot. So I was like, oh, let me watch this. And I like, you bring on what you're thinking. Um, don't think too much into that one though, guys. Calm down. Um, so I had two other dreams this night that I want to go into. So one that I was up at camping at Laurel Hill State Park and we always like camp there. Like, okay, we've camped there like twice, but we've been up there a bunch too, like outside of camping. And so we're up there camping in the dream and I'm sitting by this just like a weird small loop of campgrounds. Kind of reminded me of like Coosier State Park more than what Laurel Hill was, if you guys are familiar with them at all. But so I'm sitting at the picnic table and there's like this big like community bonfire and there's two restrooms on like each side of the fire. And like this one guy walked out of the bathroom and he had two water bottles with him and like the one like officer like fire policer or um like the campfire guard I guess was like you can't have those water bottles here, like what's in them, like why do you have two water bottles, and like went to kick them out. And then like my husband came back and he's like, what is going on here? Like, why do they want to, I was like, what, why did, he was like, why are they kicking everybody out? I'm like, I don't know, but they're like checking everything. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Now you're not allowed to drink in state parks and stuff, but people do. But as long as you're not like an asshole, I feel like they don't really care. If you're going to sit there and drink a beer around a campfire and not cause any trouble, they're not going to be like, what's in that cup? But it was like they were watching like every single move that was happening. And like easily like just kicking people out for like stupid it's like they didn't want anybody to be there, and they were like asking for like parking passes and things. I don't know. I've never had anything like that happen to me at a state park. In my real life, I think the only thing that happened was Labor Day weekend this year. They told me to move one of our cars. We had 3 cars. And they're like, if you guys are all staying here, you got to move one of the cars to parking area. And I was like, okay. um, so I don't know if that's where this dream came from, but I don't know. They just kept like kicking people out. And I was like, Trevor, we just got to go. Like this is not where we need to stay. In real life, I am trying to book a cabin somewhere for a couple people. Okay. Sorry, my microphone died, so we're going to go back to this. But in real life, I am trying to book a cabin like for a bunch of us, and like so we were talking about like dogs and like non-dog cabins and stuff. So I think maybe that's where this one came from. Because I was looking at rules and everything about how people were in a cabin and everything. So that could have been where that one came from. So then I had another dream this same night. And I have this large wheel, and it had like these random like letters and numbers in front of me. And I'm like I had no, like, the wheel was like a circle, and it was like poster board in a circle, and it had like random letters and numbers. That's the best way I can like use to describe it. It was like as big as my like front window. Maybe like if you're watching on Patreon, like it's like my size of this window, but it's downstairs. So and it was like there was a message from the garbage company and being like, we're coming to take like your garbage cans away. Like you guys haven't been like following the rules. And you've been putting out too much garbage and recycling. So we're coming to take your trash, like your garbage cans away, and you guys can't use us anymore for your trash. So they came back to take them because it was their property. Like the recycling bin and the garbage can that I had was their property. And I was like, what the hell is this about? They're like, well, someone called us and said that like this is what's happening. And I was like, okay. So I'm standing outside with like my 2 kids while they're taking away the garbage cans. And I was like, what? Can you tell me what more like information? Because I didn't really know. And they're like, well, I also want to take your kids away too. And I was like, why do you want to take my kids away? And they're like, because we heard you're not a good mom. So next door to me in my dream, my mother-in-law was there, and I was like, hey, can you like why is the garbage man going to take my kids? And she's like, well, maybe they should. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, and she like wouldn't help me at all, but like they didn't take my kids. And I was like, no, tell them not to take my kids. And I was like holding both of them. If you guys watch TikTok, I had them both in my one arm, and so like how Maya Knight holds her kids. That's how I was holding them in my dream. I was like, nobody's taking my kids. I was like, I don't understand why they're taking them. In this dream, okay, so in one of the Facebook groups I'm in, someone's switching over their like garbage company thing, and they had like pictures of the garbage cans that they could get, like seniors versus like non-seniors, and how much it would pay and everything. And so I think that's where the garbage man like came into. And my garbage has been like on like a weird schedule. It's never on time. Like today's garbage day outside, and like it's still not picked up. And I got a phone call being like, "Oh no, we're gonna pick it up. Like just leave it on the curb." Like because everyone's short staffed. I know. I don't even care, but it's just like something me and my husband talk about all the time. And then I think with taking my kids away, I've just been having a shit ton of mom guilt lately. I feel like I'm a bad mom, but then I'm a good mom, but then I'm a bad mom. And every single mom has felt this. Every single mom. But I just woke up like from this night between the shooting and then the camping. It was just a long, stressful night for dreams. It was rough. And I just feel like that shows kind of where like my head has been, where my anxiety has been. And maybe that's why like last night I slept great and didn't have any like dreams, or any dreams that I recall. But yeah, I know that was a heavy episode. I hope that this like helped some people be like, hey, it's all right to have those fucked up dreams, and getting them out makes you feel better. Like, I wrote them down immediately. And I just wrote down notes in my phone, and that's what I'm going off of this time. I didn't like write them out in a paragraph form because they were too hard for me to write out. And I just decided to do it this way to see how it works and how I like talking about it. But it was just a harder thing to do with like, it's hard to write out every detail of like nightmares that you have. And I understand that completely. But even just writing down the bullets, like, here's what I have written down in my notes in my phone. I have shoot, going to work, school, book, old cars, lady motorcycle, told me to go. Camping, Laurel Hill, fire watchers, kicked out almost, garbage truck, weird schedule, came to take back property, someone called them. They were going to take my kids away. Mother-in-law didn't care. Like, and that's how I told you guys all that. So when I say like write your dreams down, this is what I mean. Just make little notes. It doesn't have to be in full paragraph form. And I like turning mine into full paragraph form, like, because I also kind of want to start writing like stories off of them. But sometimes it's hard when they're nightmares. So just try to write down every detail like this and get it off your chest, because I think it'll help you. But thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it wasn't too triggering at all for some people. Nightmares suck. It happens. It's part of life. If you like us, don't forget you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps us out a lot. Jess Haynes should be back next week, by the way. And don't forget you can follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at WTF Did I Dream Last Night. And send us your dreams, guys. Dreams, nightmares, weird shit that's happened in your sleep to WTF Did I Dream Last Night at gmail.com. And until next time, guys, happy dreaming.